back to another exciting episode of Kids on Brooms, right here at Proficiency Bonus. I am your narrator, Professor Fern Spindlewheel. I'm so glad that you could join us as we continue our tale. Jameson, you guys have met a new exchange student, along with Julia Sprout and Alistair Nightingale, as you guys are making your way up to try to find wherever. Well, you would know. I think Medea told you that she was going to the library, so you would know that that's where Medea is. Before you.
Yeah, I sent who.
Yeah, I sent who ahead
who's
of you.
Faster than us.
Got it. Yeah, you guys are heading up that way. Question for you, Jameson: what is your relationship like with Julia Sprout?
Definitely positive.
Definitely positive. Yes, you got it. So go ahead and roll a d20 for me, and we'll develop this relationship further with a random question from the book.
1.
Okay.
Ooh.
Julia once protected you from something dangerous. What was it, and what happened?
Everybody's protecting me from something dangerous.
Why
did too.
Like, what is doing this for?
That is the cost of your pranks, sir.
I definitely was going to go pull a prank on Halifax because he's very easy to prank. And I walked into the greenhouse and there was a monster there. And I was not prepared for a monster to be there.
Okay.
But she was following me because she knew I was probably up to no good, and it wasn't a good idea. And as I was backing away from the monster, I tripped, and she put up a shield spell and slammed the doors closed and saved me. So
saved from a monster in the greenhouse. Very good. I like it. So, Julia, what is your relationship like with Jameson? Do you believe?
I would say definitely positive.
Okay, excellent. Go ahead and roll a d20, and we'll develop it a little bit more from there.
That's an 11.
An 11.
3 1s.
Ooh, here we go. What wonderful, unforgettable experience did you and Jameson have together?
When I saved him from a monster in the greenhouse. Well, I can think of something else. Perhaps it was another prank that he was about to pull.
Okay.
Alright, we'll say that we were in a potions class, and our potions professor does a really funny thing with his hair. He thinks it's very stylish, and all of the students secretly tease him for it. And one day, Jameson decided to turn his hair into a rat. Like, just his hair, just have a rat on his head that just pulled him every which way and chirped and everything, and he had to leave for the rest of the day. And I made sure that no one knew that it was Jameson. At least that would get him in trouble.
Okay.
I pulled my strings in student government so that he wouldn't be sent to detention or anything like that.
Wonderful.
Nice. And you guys do know that the potions professor is Professor Dusty Toads. Professor Toads. he's very easy
So perhaps
to prank.
instead of a rat, he turned his hair into a toad. I like that.
I like that better. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Fantastic. All right. And you guys are making your way. Medea, eventually you do recognize that an owl cat makes its way into the library. And you would recognize this as Jameson's familiar, I believe. I think you would know that this is Jameson's. And it kind of settles its way in and kind of perches next to you. Bookshelf.
What's wrong?
Now, is an owl cat more owl or more cat?
Let me look at the picture that I was using as reference.
Okay.
I think I know the exact picture you're using as reference.
I would say the head is more owl.
Okay.
The body and tail of a cat with wings that have cat fur.
With that cat fur on them. Okay. Okay. It looks like this thing. It definitely, it's a perfect blend of owl and cat as it lands on a bookshelf. It looks to you and it seems like it's purring, and then looks at you and goes, "Whoo."
I try to grab him and hold him.
Okay. He settles down into your grasp and sits down and starts going like this. It starts cleaning itself in your grasp in a very cat-like manner. Then purrs a little bit and goes, "Whoo." Just kind of hanging out with you.
The most useful familiar I've ever had.
Look at Hamilton. Is he still next to me?
He's moved on a little bit. He's past those books, and he's just walking down, like looking through another set of books. And it's about that time you notice that there is another student that enters the aisle. You don't recognize this person though. They are wearing the colors of Draconum. This individual is a African-American female with long braided hair. And she just kind of looks towards Hamilton Minx, and they both exchange kind of like a quick glance. Neither of them blinking.
Oh,
And then they look off, and one kind of peers off to one side of the aisle, and the other goes to the other side of the aisle, and they're just both now doing the same thing, like scanning titles and pulling a book out.
I'm holding Who, and also out of my robe comes my familiar.
Okay.
A hitless raven with a spectral head.
Okay. This raven with a spectral head. Very good. Yes.
And it kind of looks down at Who, looks at me, and I look at it and be like, I think I might be. And I will hold Who, but I will try to make my way over to the girl in my house that I have yet to meet.
Okay. Sure.
Is she younger or older than me?
They all look about like the 15-ish range, from what you can tell.
Okay. So definitely younger than me.
Hmm.
I walk over. Hi. I'm Medea Wild. I'm part of your house. I've never seen you here before.
Hello. I'm Rosa Rivers.
Hi, Miss Rivers. When did you get here?
I'm in House Draconum.
Same as me. Can I help you with anything?
No. And then just
Okay.
turns and starts looking through books. Doesn't even acknowledge you anymore. And just... What's that?
What is she looking at?
She's just looking through the edges of the books. Like, she's just, like, scanning titles. Like, it's almost like it's looking at a title, looking at a title, looking at a title, and just keeps on kind of, like, moving down the line of books.
Is it like a specific theme of the books in this aisle, or no?
Not really, because this library is very haphazard. Everything's kind of like mixed up. There's not really any good, positive cataloging system here in this library, because everything's just mixed together. That's how they hide the restricted books from the students, is they just put them in there. And if you're good enough to find a restricted book, then you were probably meant to have it some way.
Yeah. I am going to try to follow Hamilton and Rosa. But are they separating or are they together?
They seem to be together, but on opposite sides of the aisle. Like, Hamilton's on the right side and she's on the left, and they're working their way down the aisle. Very slowly,
Okay.
very methodically.
going to be nonchalant about it, and like I'm looking at books too, but I'm not. I'm watching them and trying to see what books they get.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. In the meantime, the rest of you arrive at the front door of the library. With Heather Pat in tow. She seemed to be just following you guys as you led her on. That didn't really say anything unless you guys like addressed, and it was very short, to the point answers. Nothing elaborate, no showing of emotion, no blinking of the eyes, head forward, focused. That's it.
Michael, I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
If I tap the book, make it visible, and kind of stand in like a way that she can see the book that I'm carrying, the forbidden book, is there any reaction?
Okay, so you're doing this? That's what you're...
Yes.
Okay, so you make the book visible. What was the title of that book once again? Just out of
This
curiosity?
one is Forbidden Spatial Magics.
Yes. There is what could be... Immediately, like, her face turns to see the title of the book. Looks down at the book, looks up at you. Looks down at the book, looks up at you. Where did you find that?
Yes, Jameson, where did you find that?
Well,
I believe he got that off of me when I was done using it. I can show you exactly where we found that one.
yeah. It's a long story. We all kind of accidentally stole some forbidden books, brought them back to the library the other week. Then I ended up checking this one out, so...
Julia does not seem impressed.
They're called forbidden for a reason. But all right.
Yeah, but if you find them, you can take them.
I suppose that's true. However, should we be subjecting a brand new student to the forbidden section so early on?
Well, I wasn't planning on giving them this book.
All right. Proceed.
I'm still reading it.
I'm gonna like kind of lean in and whisper to like Julia and Jameson here.
Okay.
I'm planning to help them find the books, and I have been kind of working on a hold spell, so I just to stop them for a little bit. Teach twos, think of like smashing a hammer. So you just straight down.
You're gonna knock them all out?
No. Just a temporary paralyzation.
You're gonna paralyze people at a time where people are looking for somebody who's paralyzing people?
That seemed not well thought out.
You remember that secret?
I love it, personally. I think it's a great idea. I just...
Well, of course, that is a lovely idea, but where are you going to put them?
The secret.
The bookcase. Secret bookcase.
Jameson, as you guys are talking and you're like kind of whispering off to the side, all of a sudden you turn around rapidly and there is Heather Pat like standing like right behind you. Like it means that you turn around like literally 3 inches away from your face, and you like startle back just really quickly, and she goes, "May I hold that book for just a moment?"
Why get you your own book? Jameson isn't quite done reading this one, but I'm sure there's another book that might interest you even further.
The rules of the library state that only the person that checked out the book can hold the book, so you have to check it out first at the library.
That's right. Well, Jameson may be done with it in a few days, and then you could perhaps check it out then, but why don't we get you your own book for now?
I want both of you to make charm checks for me, please.
I'm about as charming as an eel.
I'm as charming as an eel. Yikes.
Alright, it's a stat. No bonuses.
5 is pretty good. 5 is pretty good.
It's not my highest.
Charm is my d20, right?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I believe
think it is. Yeah.
So in that case, that's an 18.
18.
Yes.
So Heather looking at Alistair as Alistair's saying this, not really, you can see just without, it's hard to read this individual without any facial expression. But as you chime in, Julia, she seems to kind of back off this aggressive, can I hold that book kind of attitude.
Mhm.
Okay, take me to the books.
Right. Proceed.
So
I'm gonna make that book disappear.
Okay.
Can I put it in a pocket dimension?
You can with a check if you'd like to.
I would love to.
Okay. You're gonna make a magic check. Pocket dimension. That's probably gonna be maybe flight.
I hope it's flight. That would be fantastic.
Let me double check.
I mean, technically, we've established that teleportation style magic
Is flight, right?
is
Yeah.
flight,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which this
And
would-
animation style magic
and
as well.
Yeah.
summoning,
Let's- Let's
so-
do flight. Flight check with a D4 as with your extra bonus. So that's gonna be. It's pretty hard because you're putting it in another kind of realm. You got that a book or smaller, so that makes it easier. So that's 6. How long would you like it to stay in the pocket dimension?
Until
Back.
I call it back.
Do you want it to be? It could be a permanent spell.
I guess that would be considered permanent. Yeah.
Okay.
probably. Just kind of like a special little place where I put important valuables.
Okay, it's going to be a little
Something
bit
like that.
difficult. This is going to be a 13 on the
Okay.
difficulty.
Okay. Oh no. My D20 failed me again.
Oh no.
Oh no. That's just a 7.
Just a 7. And you
So
spent all, and you
sad.
already spent all your adversity tokens.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, you were unable. You can make it disappear, but it's not going to be in its own. It's still going to be on the plane. It's just an invisible book.
Yeah.
It's on
I'll
its
just
own
do
plane.
that then.
Okay. You do gain an adversity token for your failed check, so you can add that to your character sheet.
Okay. I'm so sad.
And you guys make your way into the library. It seems as if the librarian, I believe her name was Miss Sassafras, if I remember right. She is. It looks like she's over behind the counter organizing some books, recataloging things, and it's Saturday. It's supposed to be a day off, but it seems like she's been called in and she has to work today. Unfortunate for her. And she just kind of doesn't really acknowledge you guys as you come in because the library just opens up into this big space and the desk is sort of towards the back of this main chamber. And you guys all gather in the library and notice that Medea is here. And she seems to be... You can see her, but it seems like every now and then she's holding on to Jameson's familiar and will look up every once in a while and then just look down and look at a few books and then look over and look at a few books.
You guys can take our friend to the books. I'm going to go talk to the librarian.
Got it.
Okay.
Yes, all right.
I'm gonna kind of guide her over to where the hidden bookshelf is.
Okay. As you guys go over to the hidden bookshelf, are you gonna pull the bookshelf open and open that little space that was there before? Is that
Yes.
what you're... Okay. All right. Julia, you see Alistair kind of pull this one book from the bookshelf, and there's a door that seems to open, and there's a space, an open space beyond it.
I'm gonna kind of like put my hand as we're all trying to walk in, I'm gonna put my hand on Julia's shoulder to kind of stop her.
Okay.
Point it, say, there were a handful of forbidden books in here. Last time, that's where I found the spatial magics one.
Well, Heather looks at you and says, "Yes," and just walks right in.
I'm gonna try to subtly just like paralyze her real fast when she's in the bookshelf.
Okay, when she's inside. Okay. You're good.
I want to try to quickly stop him, and as an alternative, I'll put her to sleep. Perhaps,
Okay.
just
So
to avoid any
so
misconception
here's
that he
what-
may be the person paralyzing people.
Here's what we'll do. We'll have you guys, because you're almost like doing this simultaneously. So let's have you both cast spells against Heather Pat, and we'll see which
Oh
one.
no.
We'll
You're gonna
see.
put her to sleep and
We'll see which one holds. Okay.
Oh, God.
All right.
Come on,
Um,
Julia, please fix this.
Alright,
So what would that be?
rolling.
So this is
For
going
me?
to be, since it's an aggressive spell against someone else, it's going to be a fight spell check. Okay, and you guys are
dear.
going to roll against the difficulty. Okay, so question for you, Julia, is how long would you like this individual to stay asleep if you succeed?
Forever.
Night night.
The ideal situation would be anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. I would hope so. But I don't know. I mean, I may be arguing this solely because my fight is my lowest stat. But I do think that a sleep spell is not so much aggressive. It could be helpful to someone if they have insomnia or something like that. So I don't think that would be considered as aggressive as paralyzing someone, so to speak.
Well, true, but yeah, you are trying to put somebody to sleep who doesn't necessarily want to go to sleep. So-
Are you considered physically capable of sleep?
True.
Right.
Let's do this. The difficulty for the sleep spell is going to be a 10. So it's going to be just above average.
Oh, that's
But here's the
that's
deal.
not possible.
If it can be because you have exploding dice roll in this game. So if you roll the highest number,
Yeah.
you actually can roll it again and then add the total. For your paralysis, let's see. It's gonna be a little bit harder. How long?
Absolutely not.
Okay, you didn't get it.
That's a 2.
A 2. Did you
Oh.
roll? Did you roll your magic die with it? You get to roll a D4
Oh
on
no,
top of
I
it.
did not.
Yep, you can add a D4.
I don't
roll.
know how much help that will be.
It might if you have enough adversity tokens hanging around.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, all right. That is a 5. I don't know if adversity tokens could get me all the way up to a 10.
Unless you have some kind of strength or ability that allows you to make your adversity tokens a +2 instead of a +1. There's some on there that do, but I don't know if your character took them or not.
It is, but it's each of the tokens that I spend to help my friends give a +2.
So if you were
I
helping
suppose-
with the paralysis,
am I
it would work.
helping my friend? Yes, but I am in some respect helping my friend to not get in trouble, maybe, and not be
True.
accused of going around paralyzing people. So I don't know if
I'll
that
agree,
could.
I'll agree with that argument. Yeah, you have that helpful mindset, as you don't want him to get him busted for the paralyzation that's happening. I will allow it. I'll allow it. So what will your
that case,
what will your total be if you can do that?
if so, I'm at a 6 right now.
Okay.
So if I spent 2 tokens with helping Alistair, that
Okay.
would bring me right up to the 10.
10. Okay, so you're sitting at a 10. So Alistair, your difficulty for this is going to be, how long do you want the paralysis to last?
What time in the day is it?
Probably just after lunch, so like 1, 2 in the afternoon, something like that.
And if it's 1 in the afternoon, 6 hours, because that's when the dance starts at 7.
Yeah.
So 6 hours, yeah.
6 hours? Okay.
Yep.
So we've got. Your difficulty for this paralysis is going to be a very difficult 15.
Well, I rolled a 12, so I can use my 3 adversity tokens
To get to a 15?
to get to a 15.
Oh dear.
And Julia, as you're trying this and you're casting your sleep spell, you say these really quick magic words as you point the wand to the back of Heather Pat. As you see Alistair doing the same thing, and you're worried about what he's about ready to do. All of a sudden, her form just freezes, and then just slowly timbers like a falling tree down and flat on her face, completely still.
I'm just gonna like pull the book.
The bookshelf closes.
There.
How many other people know about this bookshelf? I feel as though we shouldn't just leave her there waiting to be found by the next person who comes to the shelf.
I am pretty confident that it's kind of an open secret. Like, people may know it's there, but it's kind of only the
I just don't think.
I'm gonna like point to oh, sorry. I found it because I was trying to not be found. Because I needed a place to study that was nice and
Just
secure.
worried about. I feel as though we should at least move her, at least to be in a position sitting up, not necessarily on her face. And I just don't think that it's very smart to leave her just waiting to be found, considering that there was a professor that was paralyzed and people are looking for him. There's only so many strings I can pull for you in student government to make sure you don't get in trouble and don't get blamed for something like this. And I just think you need to think about the repercussions that if she were found, what people might think about you.
That sounds all horrible.
Mhm.
I have an idea. She's in my
Alright.
she's in my group, right?
Yep, she's Avinoches.
Cool. So I'm gonna open the thing back up.
Okay.
Can you help me we'll just drag her out a little bit real fast.
Right.
So we'll drag her out.
Alistair, you do remember that there are magical scrying orbs upon the ceilings of the library that Terry had
Mm.
accidentally, well, Medea and Terry combined, like made a big oopsie with one of them and made it blow up. But there are others in the library they use to kind of keep a lookout.
Perhaps we should
not
not move her out.
So let's come in. Let's go into the bookshelf real fast.
Oh, all right, I'm coming. All right.
So I'm going to close the bookshelf
Uh-huh.
and use portcullis to have the bookshelf now open to my comic.
Ooh, that's genius. Go ahead and make a spell check on the door, bookshelf door. Difficulty's gonna be a 10.
It looks like y'all kidnapping this poor girl.
We're just getting her.
I agree. This does not look very good.
Is this a brains or is this some flight?
Still flight. Yeah.
And does that also mean that you're leaving the bookshelf open?
No. So from this
No.
side, it's opening to the thing. So to the best of my awareness, as long as the door's
Yeah.
closed.
Yeah, they closed it behind him. They went into the bookshelf, and now he's casting it from inside.
Okay.
Alright.
Oh, a
Great.
21.
I am not entirely sure how that's possible.
It exploded.
Exploded.
It did the exploded. 12 plus 9 plus 0 plus 0.
Great.
Yeah, so
So-
basically what that means is you succeeded extraordinarily. So you can have up to for that it's up to 2 beneficial things that you could narrate for your party based on this spell check.
So what we're going to do, I think, is like it's going to open to our common room,
Okay.
and nobody's there, thankfully.
Okay.
So we're going to put her in a chair near where my pile of books is,
Okay.
and I'm going to release the paralysis, so she's just kind of sleeping in the chair. And
Ah,
I'll put
and
one
just-
of the books. I'll put one of the books in her hand as though she had been reading.
Oh, very nice. Yes, you put her in there. You kind of dismiss the paralysis, but the sleep still holds.
All
And
right.
she's there, and you place this book, and just kind of like drape it over, kind of like she was reading, and then just kind of passed out in the chair. Yeah, seems to be rather
And then I'm
believable.
gonna like I'm gonna run back into the bookshelf and dismiss the portcullis,
Okay, you got it.
and then go back out of the bookshelf.
And Medea, it seems that Jameson has made his way to you while all this is happening in the background.
Oh no. I was going to the
Oh, you were going to the
librarian.
librarian. Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
you approach the
I have
librarian.
a question, however.
Yeah.
Did this girl have a familiar that we should be worried about?
Yikes.
I didn't see any.
You guys didn't see any.
All right.
Mhm.
Just a thought.
It's a fly, and she landed on it when she fell.
Yeah, you squashed it. Yeah, so Jameson, you approach the desk. It looks like the librarian's just sorting books, putting some onto like a cart that seems to be
Who did you say the
hovering around it.
librarian was? Was that Sassafras?
Sassafras, I believe, was her name.
Okay.
For some reason, I don't have her first name on my chart here. I have her last name, but I don't have her first. Yeah, I'm
That's
pretty
fine.
Sure, sure,
I'll
Miss Sassafras.
Excuse me.
Many
Miss Sassafras.
librarians. Sorry.
No, it's okay. I just like lean over the counter as always.
Mr. Jameson,
Hello.
can I help you?
Yeah, I had a couple questions.
You always
Personally.
have questions.
That's not exactly true.
Name a time you came in here and didn't have a question.
The time I came in here to get this book that you can't see because it's invisible right
Are
now.
you sure you didn't ask me a question?
Nope. I said, can I check this out? That is a question. I take it back.
Very good. You know that boy I spoke to the other day?
Which one?
The one that I drug out of the dining room by the ear. Mr. Morgan, I believe was his name.
Oh yeah, that weird kid that was
Yes.
stealing the books.
You know, he didn't seem to know anything about the books showing up in the bathroom.
You know, as a prankster, if somebody were to ask me if I knew about something that I did that was bad, I would also pretend to not know anything about it.
Good point. I am gonna check the scrying orbs later to see if there's any evidence of this, Mr. Morgan.
That's fair.
Good. So what is your question?
I don't know if you're really allowed to give out this information, but I've been doing kind of like my own little investigation thing, and I'll like whip out my notepad real quick.
Okay. Sure. What is
Out of curiosity,
you're okay. So, yeah, yes. Go on.
the teacher that was paralyzed,
Yes.
did they happen to check out any forbidden books recently?
What makes you think that this is information I can allow you to know?
Well, I said I don't know if you can tell me or not, but I have a couple of leads roughly 2 leads at the moment that potentially could be some of the issues if this was the case. Like, I'm not asking for the name of a book. I'm just asking if there was a forbidden book checked out by said teacher.
Listen, most of the time when Professor Evergreen visited, he was frantically trying his best to develop lessons that were engaging to his magical students. So most of his books and his literature were based upon, of course, astronomy and the study of the stars. None of them would be considered you would call restricted. so to speak.
Speaking of stars, do you know anything of the School of Stars?
Never heard of it.
Which is strange considering we've gotten a couple of exchange students from the School of Stars.
Really?
Yes.
Hamilton?
Yes, Hamilton, and this one I met earlier whose name is escaping me because I was kind of creeped out by her the whole time.
Hamilton's been spending a lot of time here in the library the last few days.
I'm aware.
Mhm.
And
Very studious young individual, very quiet.
looking for forbidden books, yes. And that's why I'm asking you if you know anything about whether or not this teacher checked out a forbidden book.
Well, perhaps you could go visit him in the medical tower and ask for yourself.
So much work.
You are an investigator, right? And she points to the notepad that you got out.
I actually have like extensive notes that like nobody else has seen. I mean, yes. I just find it strange that exchange students from the School of Stars are looking for forbidden books. At the same time, our astrology teacher was petrified.
Seems like a wise suspicion, but they seem harmless to me.
Have you heard them laugh?
I have not.
I'm telling you, those people are robots. You need to stay away from them.
Now, Jameson,
This is not a rumor.
don't be so quick to judge other people. Maybe you just need to spend more time with them. Get to know them. Befriend them.
I will totally not do that, but I appreciate your assistance. Keep an eye on the books that one is checking out.
Sure. I can do that. Do you have any more questions?
How long do I have this book for? I forgot.
I believe you signed it out for a week.
Can I extend that? I'm trying to figure it out, but it's really strenuous.
Make a charm check.
Come on! Wait. I'll roll for it. It's not
Okay.
that big of a deal.
Okay.
I got better than I would have if I used my cool under pressure. So that's a 7.
7? Okay. She looks at you and says, I can probably extend it for another 3 days, but the books, you know our policy here at the library. They need to get back on the shelves so they can be in other students' or other professors' hands.
I am all too aware of other students wanting to get their hands on this book.
Mm-hmm. You know, restricted books, they find their way into the hands of some people, and some would say that they're magically meant to find their way to those particular students.
And some would say those students look at every single book on the shelves until they specifically find every single one that's there.
There's a lot of books in here. They're very diligent.
And that's why more people are coming to look for more books.
Well, if you have any more questions, you know which librarian to come bother.
Yep. I wouldn't call it bothering. That's so mean. I'm gonna walk away. It's really dusty in here, by the way. You should probably clean all this stuff up.
I just cleaned on Tuesday when you told me the first time. She hollers across the room as you're walking away.
So much for a quiet library.
All of a sudden, as you say that, Julia, this handheld dusting feather mop thing just whisks by your face and then just starts like dusting off some bookshelves, and this cloud of dust just starts going everywhere around you guys. And
Well, I wonder what Jameson was asking the librarian. Perhaps we should ask him?
I can use an alibi, yeah.
I'm going over
Alright.
to Medea at
Okay.
the current
okay,
point.
sure.
I start to make my way over to there as well.
Okay, you guys all group up. Medea, as you catch up to her, she's halfway down another aisle, and you can see probably about 20 feet away from her, there are two students. One is Hamilton Minks, who you guys recognize immediately, in the garb of Physis Nephi, silver and blue, that he was wearing before. And you also see another individual, African-American female with these really long kind of braided locks of hair. She's wearing the colors of Draconum, and she's on the opposite side, and they're both like almost moving in tandem, like together, and they're just like looking through book titles. Take a book out, one of them will stop, flip a couple pages. Medea seems to be like just following them, looking through books, and then like peeking over as you guys approach.
If they're coming from like behind me, I am not paying attention. My attention is all on these two
Yep.
weirdos.
Yep. Jameson, as you approach, Medea doesn't even look at you.
Medea,
Oh.
I wasn't even trying to scare you. Oh, I reach out and take my owl cat back.
Okay, you get the owl cat back.
Now, Jameson, what were you asking the librarian?
I slipped my investigation notes into my backpack that I forgot that I still had out. I was asking questions towards my looking into of the paralyzed teacher.
All right. Well,
I
I wonder if she has a logbook of all of the books that have been checked out and who's checked them. I do believe
asked
that
for
would be
that
quite
information,
interesting.
and she would not allow me to know it.
Interesting. Well, I do volunteer at the library sometimes for student government, so I wonder if there is something I could figure out with that respect. But what are we doing here now? Medea, what have you been doing?
Choose it again. These two, well, that's Rosa Rivers. I had never seen her in my house before, and that's Hamilton. They're both pretty odd, more so than the normal odd that goes around here. And trying to figure out what they're doing.
It's so strange that they all act the same. I wonder if that really is how they are and the school has groomed them to be this way, or if there's some sort of charm they've been put under.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe an enchantment of some kind.
Let's see what happens if I bring out the book and bring attention to it again.
Oh, all right.
Don't know if I can put another
Oh,
book-
actually, let me bring attention to the book to one of them and see if the other one knows.
As if they have some sort of telepathic link between them or something.
Yes.
What?
I brought
I'm
this book up.
completely lost. What is happening?
There's another
So-
student that's from the School of the Stars or whatever, and they saw this book and like started acting really freaking weird, man.
She became extremely fixated on the book and wanted to hold it, and it was very strange because she had little to no emotion prior to that, and as soon as she saw the book, she became very interested. I think he's wondering to see if the other two will have the same reaction, or if they're looking for different types of books.
Definitely something interesting. Well,
I also believe-
it's at that moment you guys are interrupted as the new student that you saw and introduced herself as Rosa Rivers to Medea has a book in her hand, and she looks over back behind her shoulder to Hamilton and says, "This is interesting. Look at this." And starts
Wait,
opening
fly
up,
over.
and Hamilton like leans over her shoulder is like looking down at this book as she's kind of like flipping pages. And
I
going
I
would
through
like
it.
to
open my
nonchalantly.
over.
Oh, you guys.
I
Go.
would like to nonchalantly approach and look like I am trying to get to a very specific book that just happens to be near them. And not really look at them, so to speak, but just kind of use my finger to go through the books like I'm looking for a very specific one, and that's why I happen to be in that same place.
And Medea, you're planning the same thing? Is that what you guys are both
I'm-
doing?
I'm sending my familiar Wraith over, and I'm going to see if I can see through his eyes.
Okay.
As like a spying
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a. We'll call this a charm magic check.
Alright.
And
So-
for you, go ahead and make a flight stat check, Julia, for like a
So,
sneak, a nonchalant sneak.
Knowing that she's doing that, I suppose my role will be to sort of perhaps take their eyes away so that her familiar can get a good look.
Okay,
so
so it's
instead
more
of
of a
looking at
distraction.
books,
Yeah.
it'll be more of a distraction to where I'm looking at books and maybe I ask the question of like, have you seen the book on potions about, the ones that help with stomach pains? My friend Alistair just has the worst stomach pains right now, and I'm just trying to help him out. I do remember seeing one over here. I just don't know. I've been seeing you looking through a lot of books. Maybe you saw it and could help me?
Make a charm check as you're doing this. So it'll be based on your stat. With these particular individuals, it's going to be kind of difficult. It's going to be a 12 on your roll. That's the difficulty for.
Well, lucky for me, that was a 13.
All right, you succeed. Medea, what was your roll? Well, actually, I gotta give you a difficulty first. I apologize. That's going to be looking through your familiar's eyes. I'm gonna say that's going to be just like a minute. Is that how long you want it to be? Just to see.
I want to see what they're looking at and if I can get any passages.
Okay. It's a 5, 6, 7. Be difficulty of 8 on yours.
Rolled a 7, but I'm going to use my adversity token
Okay.
to push it up to 8.
Push it up to 8. You do catch a glimmer as Julia seems to have distracted them away for just a moment as they're looking at these other books with her distraction. They're not too enthralled by what Julia's saying because it doesn't seem to be something that highly interests them. Stomach pain doesn't seem to be high on their list of finding a book to alleviate. but they're just drawn to Julia for just a second. You're able to look over and you catch the title and the author of the book first. It's called A Permanent Reality by Jaden Hornbeam.
Uh-oh.
And you're getting a couple passages, and they're looking at something that specifically shows like a rune that looks very similar to the Omega symbol. It's kind of like a circular rune that has like a flat bottom to it. And they seem to be like really fixated on this particular rune as they're going through it. Something about this rune, when attached to something or when put into some kind of a magical sequence, can give that sequence and that magical entity or circle of some sort permanence.
Right.
Once I get a signal that they've seen the book, I'm going to pretend that I'm reaching up to a higher shelf to get really close to the bookshelf, and then stick my wand to tap it really quick. I'm
Okay.
gonna try to bring that shelf that they're in front of to life and start spitting books at them. Similar to what I did with the table, but with the bookshelf, in hopes that they drop that specific book because they're so stunned by books hitting them.
Okay. So you're waiting for a signal. That's what I'm getting. You're waiting for some kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Because right now, Medea's just focused. You're looking at them. You're kind of looking through your familiar's eyes. They're
Yeah.
looking over towards Julia. Seems to be looking for this remedy for gas and stomach pain. And
And I'll like Medea kind of goes completely still, like as if her whole mind had just been transferred over to her familiar.
Mhm.
And her eyes completely blank, and she will blink, and Wraith will like kind of disperse a bit, as if it's like black shadows kind of just goes around him,
Okay.
and I will turn to look at Jameson. They're looking at something about permanent realities.
Yeah, and this is the part where I'm like reaching up and I really subtly just like this bookshelf.
Oh, so
What
you're
are
gonna
you
that's
doing?
that's yeah, you're like standing on it. He's getting his wand ready.
Yeah.
Are you letting it go?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
Are you gonna do it? Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. This check is going to be a magic check, and we're gonna call this a. So, what did we do for animating the table?
We said it was flight last time.
We'll do flight again. This 5, 6, 7, 8. How long do you want it to shoot books?
Just for like, just the normal like minute long.
Okay. Okay. This is going to be a difficulty 10. Is going to be your difficulty class. So a little
I
above
will
average.
spend an adversity token to take half of my die because
Okay.
I'm cool under pressure.
Okay.
And that's a 10 plus 3 plus 1. So that's 14.
You succeed, and as you see Jameson with these magical words, as he points his wand to the bookshelf, all of a sudden, these eyes kind of like pop out from the wood of the shelf and look towards the individuals standing in front. And Julia, you're kind of like standing right next to them as you were like distracting them. And
Right.
You see this happen, and all of a sudden, books start going.
Now, because
At these guys.
I know because I know Jameson, do you think it'd be fair for me to make the conclusion that this is him and kind of help out with the chaos?
Sure. What would you like to do to help out?
I would just like to kind of act like I'm shielding them from the books and maybe accidentally knock it out of their hand.
Okay, great. Go ahead and let's call this a fight check.
Oh,
What?
Okay.
Oh no.
But the difficulty
Why?
is going to be very easy because they are being distracted and pelted with books. And so the difficulty on this is only going to be a 4.
Well, I got a 5.
You do it.
Yes.
All right,
Go ahead
I'm
and
going to
narrate
kind of-
it. Yeah.
All right, yes. So I see the books start to come, and I'm like, oh my goodness, and I start to get in front, and I'm like, oh, watch yourselves, and I kind of flail my arms a bit and accidentally, like, knock it out, but not, like, with my hand, kind of with my elbow, as I try to reach to try to, shield them from the books. I may have a few bruises later, but, I'm sure Jameson will apologize.
Yeah, you're definitely getting pelted by a couple hardback books as they come flying out of the shelves. And it's strange because the bookshelf is not just staying still. It starts to like rotate itself, and it's starting to like walk out from the rest of the shelves a little bit as it goes like you hear the creaking of wood and stuff, like that low rumble over the boards. And that's where we're going to end today's episode of Kids on Brooms.
Rip.
Oh man.